Welcome back, everybody. You are watching the Now Morning Show right here on TTT. Now we're going to be speaking to Dr. Anjani Ganesh, who's an associate member of Species and the lead operator of the Maritime Ocean Collection. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here this morning. And I'm very excited to speak about this topic because, the preservation and so many other things dealing with maritime has so much effect on the rest of the natural ecosystem of the world. And you're going to tell us a little more about this exciting project that is coming up. So tell us, what is the Maritime Ocean Collection?
So the Maritime Ocean Collection is essentially the first online catalog of Tobago's coral reefs. It was collected specifically in 360 degrees, so that it allows you to view coral reefs in a very immersive way. So it's kind of like doing a virtual dive on a coral reef. And it's freely available for anybody who wants to explore online. It could be viewed on your phone, your tablet, your computer, or like these fancy VR headsets. But it really is an immersive type of experience to get on Tobago's coral reef.
Why start this program and create this virtual environment of the coral reef?
I think the Maritime Ocean Collection was created because even though we are an island nation, we're part of the Caribbean. We're responsible for more water than land, and very few of us have actually seen what our coral reefs look like. When you say picture a coral reef, you think of Pacific reefs with bright colors, and our reefs are very different. And I think that's the first step into sort of building that stewardship and conservation, is to actually see what the reefs look like. And I think that's what the Maritime Ocean Collection wants to do. It wants to actually show you what our reefs look like, the good and the bad.
What do you think raising awareness of the coral reef, how it actually looks and such would help, and how would it benefit?
Yes, I think so. When we did, when we actually did a couple students before, and we've actually, showed these images to a group of people, and the people were amazed that, our corals actually look brown. They thought brown was a bad color. So I think it's important to show people, our corals aren't, brightly colored in pinks and purples. They come in shades of green and blues and browns. We have very different corals compared to even different parts of the Caribbean. So I think seeing it and actually sort of discussing it is the first step for better understanding.
Well, tell us about the organization Species.
So Species is a local NGO. We're essentially a bunch of marine scientists who are very passionate about the ocean and the marine environment. We've got a deep sea biologist, a turtle biologist. We've got people who focus on fisheries and spatial science in the marine environment. I have a background in coral reef ecology, and we essentially want to sort of improve on the science education and outreach for Trinidad and Tobago. We're an island, and we really need to know more about our marine environment.
So who are the partners of this project, the Maritime Ocean Collection?
So there are three entities. Firstly, we're sponsored by the Maritime Financial Group. They're our sole sponsor, and they are the host of the Maritime Ocean Collection online. And then there's Species, which is the NGO that I'm part of. And then our third partner is an Australian NGO called Underwater Earth. And they specialize in visualizing the ocean. And I worked with them when I was studying in Australia, and they mapped a lot of coral reefs around the world. So they joined forces to sort of put Tobago's coral reefs on the map.
Let's go a little more in depth. How can the Maritime Ocean Collection help us to learn more about our coral reefs? And what is the value of the Maritime Ocean Collection?
Yeah, so the value is, again, bringing coral reefs into sight, into mind. And I think, as we diversify our economy, as we start relying on things like agriculture and tourism, coral reefs provide a lot of services to us. And we really need to understand its ecology in order to sustainably develop around it. So we get our fisheries from coral reefs, we get our coastal protection, especially in the southwest part of Tobago, comes from coral reefs. And we require a healthy system in order for us to keep benefiting from these ecosystems. And I think, again, we really need to learn about them first in order to best, protect and conserve them.
And this virtual environment that was created, who is it for? Is it for people who are more interested in the science and the ecology and things like that, or is it for anybody really?
It's for everybody. I mean, if you want to learn more about Tobago's coral reefs, if you're interested, you can just hop online to maritimeoceancollection.com and explore and go diving. I think especially now when a lot of people are in their homes, you can't go to on the beaches, I think now is the time to sort of be able to sort of access that part of Tobago online. And I think it is supposed to be used as an educational tool, even if you're not interested in science. I think it's just to increase your general awareness.
Yeah, in these COVID times, everything has to go virtual, and it's great to have a platform here that you could virtually go visit the reef. I've been able to see the reef a few years ago and see the huge brain coral and all these things as well.
Right.
So that was a great experience for me. But not everyone can do that, and I guess the Maritime Ocean Collection addresses that need. All right. So you gave us the website earlier, and are there other means of accessing it, or is it just the website?
No, you can follow us on our social media pages at Maritime Ocean Collection. We're on Instagram and Facebook. And from time to time, we highlight a reef of Tobago on these platforms and we tell you a bit about it. It's more of an informal way to get a little lesson of our coral reefs. And yeah, basically, if you follow those social media pages, if you go to Maritime Ocean Collection, even if you go to Google Maps and drop that little yellow guy in, you
Right.
will be able to sort of virtually dive our reefs.
That's wonderful. And before we go, what impact do you hope that the MOC project and the images will have on those who consume it?
I hope the viewers would actually, that first experience, that immersive, visualizing of our reefs would be very joyful, right? And I think essentially we want people to be inspired and be proud of our reefs and eventually actually go snorkel and dive in real life, or just, want to know more about how, they help us and then want to protect it. So,
Yeah. And what's next for species?
Well, after wrapping up, we've got a couple more projects that we're starting up. Of course, COVID has kind of slowed everything down, but
Right.
we'll always be doing more projects on coral reefs in the deep ocean, and yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I want to thank you so much, Dr. Anjani Ganesh, for joining us this morning, giving us this exciting information. And again, what is the website that everyone can go on to view the virtual experience of the coral reef?
It's maritimeoceancollection.com.
All right. Well, with that, I want to say thank you one more time. And it has been great chatting with you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. That was Dr. Anjani Ganesh, Associate Member of Species, which is an NGO, and lead operator of the Maritime Ocean Collection. So you can check it out online, maritimeoceancollection.com, to see our coral reefs right here in Trinidad and Tobago, more so Tobago, and get a virtual experience of what our coral reefs look like if you haven't actually been there in person. And even in these times now, it's so key on having these experiences that you can do right from the comfort and safety of your home. All right, with that, we are coming back in a little bit with some sport with Kent, because Kent is still here. And for now, though, we're going to take a short break and come back with much more.